As with always, I was going to have notes and I didn't complete them, so they're not complete. However, I wrote a pretty thorough description, so I'm going to reread that. I just need everyone to know who might be stumbling upon this video, I chose that name for a reason. I am the reluctant Messiah. My name is Jubilee. I did not choose that name. I was given that name. And I know how to dismantle capitalism and create a world that works for everyone. We're going to play my 5 projects video that I stitched together from May of 2022. But this channel and 2023, this channel is about 2023 and all the weirdness that has unfolded. Tomorrow, I am going to, who knows, maybe later today, stream broadcast the Titanic, Olympics, and 9/11, connecting those dots. It's actually the 3rd in a series. I made one on Lucky Girls versus Mean Girls, one on number 19, specifically February 19th. And this is the 3rd one, the Titanic one. We're going to watch them in reverse order instead of in the order that they were made. What am I saying? Let's read the description. I do very long form content. I do not edit it. It is exactly as it is meant to be. I'm exactly as I am meant to be. Let's go to, I have it copy and pasted. So first of all, I just want to go up in the Abrahamic religions. A Messiah is a savior or liberator of a group of people. And I think that fits. For some reason, the term reluctant Messiah, and I was like, nope. And then I looked up the term Messiah and I was like, no, actually, that absolutely fits. I'm Jubilee and I'm here to set all of the enslaved ones free. And I mean all of us, even though all of us aren't. Some of us have much more freedom over our own lives than other people, but nobody has complete freedom over their own life. Our society is designed that way. And the more people are actually free, that is, the more they have money and resources, the less connections, real connections they have. They might be able to network, but they sure as hell can't be vulnerable and get real with each other. And people get lots of signs from the universe as to what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's not going to look good. And I'm good with that. But in 2023, long before 2023, there was a blip in time at the end of January where I was able to feel what it was to be in real flow, to be planted at the center of my Venn and have trust, have actual faith that everything will work out, because it was absolutely working out. And it still is. I'm still resourced by the universe. However, I know as my logical self, without other humans to pass stuff off to, this is not sustainable. But I was attracting at the end of January. So much so, my child would come and seek me out when she has never done that. That's just not the energy between us. But multiple times. In fact, I could call it in the moment. I was like, you know how you haven't seen your granddaughter in a while? She will come out here while we're talking. She will come and be part of this. And it happened repeatedly. And I can tell in my body, because I don't want to be on stage. I absolutely don't want followers. You will see that is very clear. I do not. Well, this is partly just what I can and can't do, is that I can't type out thoughts unless they come and flow. And like, I can't try to type out thoughts. So I can deal with troll energy, because damn, do I want to get that out, right? If you get something wrong, yes, I can type that out. But if like anything else, I can't. I've never been great at networking, but after these last few years, after my brain damage, after I truly cannot network. And there's a hell of a lot I can't do, and a tiny bit of what I can do. But what I can do is powerful. And Jubilee is going to set humanity free. That I've been absolutely shown in 2023. So before 2023, I just was saying I know how to save the world. I've been shown direct proof of God, of that there's something leading our path and it's weaving us all together. And as I had a childhood in evangelical Christianity, where it was all about faith in the hereafter, and you just weren't feeling strong enough if it didn't go your way. Now, like, what kind of BS were you all lying to? Because all the evidence is right here. And I'm not talking, which is also evidence, and I've seen it my whole life and it's beautiful, of like, wow, how magical that we exist. Therefore, there must be a God. There are direct signs, dates, themes, people. It is obvious. What it means, not obvious. And I don't think we're even supposed to know. I think we have a giant puzzle we are supposed to put together as humans, together. And so we have to figure out how to do that with people we don't get along with and allow people their own people. There can be groups we're not part of, we don't get along with, right? But how do we use the same water supply? How, like we have to learn to have, we can't even have a conversation actually in society. Very few people have them actually one-to-one, an actual conversation that isn't small talk, that actually gets into what do you believe? What do you feel? What are your thoughts? Anyway, we're going to get into it. We're just going to watch the 5 projects. I don't know if I gave a good enough introduction, but I think I did because I think you're going to get what you get, right? What I'm going to attempt to do on this channel and in general is go live publicly. However, I can't do things on a schedule. In fact, my PDA means that if it's on a schedule, that's probably the one time I won't be going live. However, I also weirdly like doing, like, I have to follow the, it's the whole thing. So I may go live at the time period that it says, but I'm always going to have a broadcast up ready to go. If you click it, it says notify me. No, it's probably not going to be that actual time that I'm going live, but maybe probably be the topic we're talking about. And well, maybe probably we're not going to probably do the work here because I don't think that's done live on YouTube. However, I also know the work isn't going to be meetings for me because meetings are boring and I can't do boring at all. If we're sitting to work, it's not going to happen. I will not be there. If we're sitting to have a conversation, the conversation is the work. The conversation is my work. That and being alone and processing. Conversations and alone and processing. One-on-one and small group chat. Turns out I can't do anything else. Anything else at all. I am literally a tree planted at the center of this, and I need other human beings. And I suck at the humaning with other human beings. Like, I actually don't. I also have hyperbole language. So, like, I'm like, I never clean my house. I mean, it's not pristine, right? And it truly isn't pristine. I have executive dysfunction, and you know what I mean? I can't communicate it. In as much as I can't communicate it, it's because it's complex and beautiful. And it's exactly as it is meant to be. Because everyone I know who had a world-saving project who could communicate it is very attached to their project. And I'm very attached to myself. I'm very attached to the ideas that have proven themselves. I'm now attached to it coming through me. I'm not attached is the wrong word. I know it's coming through me, and I need a community and support of me to let that come out. Much like if I was a tree, right? My photosynthesizing is Jubilee, but I need the water and the sunlight and the soil, right? Like I still need stuff. And I can do the work, the biggest work, create oxygen, create food. I can do that. But if you want me to not look like a tree, right? You want me to like run with the herd, swim with the fishes, it's not going to work. I'm a tree. All right. So many broken analogies. My name is Jubilee, and I'm pretty sure sorry, although I gave the time, I didn't really set this up. So this is my TikToks where I did an intro and then I did my 5 projects, a brief one. I was in OFA at the time when I did these. So I'm no longer in OFA. And a lot of the other stuff isn't necessarily accurate, but these are my 5 projects and they're all still relevant and important to me. But 2023 has shown me that I can be in flow and be doing other things that don't look like these 5 projects and still be empowering, still be doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing. So, but I would also really like these 5 projects to move forward because they save all of humanity very fast. Together, they are the key. Anyone who can see that can come help me create it. If you need me to convince you, that sounds like work. No, thank you. I know how to dismantle capitalism and create a world that works for everyone. But I've thought that for a couple of years. So I have become involved with or created 5 different projects that have the potential to create a better, beautiful world very fast. I'm going to rattle them off now, and then I'm going to do a video on each one explaining what they are and how they will save the world. Game B, Together Tech, One Free App, Solution Raising, and Peer Coaching. I have disabilities and medical conditions. That means I can't work like other people can. What I can do is what is uniquely mine to do. I am a spoonie saving the world in 6 hours a week. What I propose by nearly anybody. There is room for everybody. Game B is not my invention. I encountered this community over 3 years ago, and it felt like coming home, finding people who wanted to talk about the things that I talk about: dismantling capitalism, governance, creating a world that works for everyone. Game B is a placeholder for a future system that comes after this one, currently dubbed Game A. Everything from agricultural revolution through capitalism, communism, it's all Game A. And we are trying to find a Game B. Finding like-minded people to have conversations with and do the deep work that is needed to get us to the better, beautiful world. The previous version of it fell apart because people couldn't agree whether we should do personal work or project work. Both and. Game B I'm not sure what's going on. I did not rewatch these. I just assumed I'd recorded them in proper order. Are these not? Did I maybe do a different one after this? The key to creating a world that works for everyone is a tech user cooperative that we all own and operate together. But that's easier said than done. So Together Tech was formed. When encountering Game B and meeting all of the people who also feel like they know how to save the world, we all had our own individual projects, and we weren't capable or able of letting go of our own to work on a collective one or work on one with someone else. So we created the project of projects. Everyone brings their own project, and we help each other move forward. And the idea in the beginning was we were going to create tools that we all needed together, but that hasn't really happened. It is more just of a brainstorming session once a month to help our individual projects move forward. I am doing these projects in chronological order. Game B gave me Together Tech. Together Tech gave me Solution Raising. Solution Raising is a 1-hour conversation that I invented to tackle complex issues so that we can co-create a drastic improvement with 10,000 people who voluntarily want an improvement or want to help another group create an improvement. We have tackled climate change, the prison system, slavery. Each time we have come up with a powerful adjacent possible improvement to these very complex issues. It was first designed to be a mass movement, but I've seen that it doesn't take hold like I wanted it to. So my plans is to make it into a podcast, have influencers come on and talk for 1 hour on an issue that they care about. Then we can fund the projects and create an improvement in any area so we can create an improvement in every area. Peer coaching helps us improve our lives right now while we gather a critical mass of 10,000 people. We get together once a week. Eventually, there will be 24/7 time slots co-hosted by 2 people. But right now, there's just one time slot on Tuesdays, co-hosted with my partner. We tackle one of 4 key areas: relationships, time, resources, and our health. We look at where we are, where we would like to get to, and what is stopping us from getting there. And then with the help of our peers, we try to remove as many obstacles as possible. Peer coaching is designed to grow exponentially because after you've attended one peer coaching session, you can invite your friends to future ones. And after you've attended 4, you can go on and co-host rather easily with another host. No training is necessary because we're peers. We're helping each other with our own personal experience. With 10,000 people and solution raising, we can tackle any and all issues. This is my most recent project, and it's not my project. It is our project. We are creating it right here on TikTok. If you're not already, please go follow at One Free App. I will tag it in the description. We go live every Thursday on Lindsay's account currently, but soon to be on the One Free App account. And we move the project forward within our own capacity. We are creating this with and for neurodiverse people. How do we get our needs met? How does the project get its needs met? We already have the Body Doubling Network on Signal, and the way we are creating this is so amazing. This is possibly my favorite project, this and peer coaching and solution raising. Okay, I like all three of my children equally. When we resource the neurodiverse community, we get all of the amazing ideas they're already sitting on. They just don't have the ability to put them in the world. I know because I'm one of those neurodiverse people who have not had the ability to put my amazing ideas out into the world. So while we were watching those, as happens, I got a DM from one of the people I mentioned in that, going through similar to what I'm going through, she's looking for a continuous audience so people have context. I haven't fully watched it because I was also listening to that, but yesterday, well, at Tim Hortons, having listened to Tim, I'm gonna call him Tim Burton every time, Tim Ballard and Kyle Cease have the conversation where February 19th, 2014 came out of Tim's mouth. And then my friend, Tim, sent me a text message asking if we could get together in the next few weeks if I wanted. These things keep happening and they're weird and they just keep happening like repeatedly. But as I said in that, I knew and know how to save the world. Then I figured out how to do it in 4 to 6 hours a week because I'm a spoonie and I have disabilities. And then I realized even that isn't within my capacity, partly because it's not growing and people aren't inviting other people and it's all on me. And I wasn't able to be a tree at the center of my event. So in September of last year, I said to my peer coaching partner, my co-host, like, I can't give the world one more fucking thing until I get something in return. It's not an ultimatum. It's like, I can't give myself to the world if I'm not being fed, if I'm not being seen. And she asked when the last time I took a break was, and I was like, break? I'm saving the world. I can't take a break. So I was just going to take a break for September and I haven't went back because there is no back without other people. I am a tree at the center of this Venn. And unless anyone can see that and acknowledge that and can be the thing that a tree can't do in any and all of those projects aren't happening, right? I can't even be a co-host for peer coaching right now. So other people would need to be co-hosts and then go on and invite people and create more, right? Totally possible. The Solution Raising podcast, the first guest that my dream first guest, I named to one of my friends who has been involved in, people are weirdly involved in all of these steps without being involved, okay? It's like everyone in my life, all of my extended family, everyone I've come in contact with is deeply, intimately involved without being involved at all. All of humanity is. We're just connected. I have the proof. Just can't make video content, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to make, anyway. I now understand it's exactly what I was meant to do. But Together Tech ended at the beginning of this year. We were getting together. It was the one I didn't quit in September because I was like, we only get together once a month. We just, share our projects, except that the other two co-hosts, I've heard about their projects. They've heard about mine, and other people weren't coming, and it wasn't our desire to grow it. So it wasn't our project. The project of projects was nobody's project, right? No one was passionate about that to grow that. And quite frankly, Together Tech kind of fell apart a few years ago after we did a very thorough community documents called protocol.love, which is amazing. It's an amazing process to go through. Unfortunately, the person who created it has since passed away, but he went through it with us in a lot of the videos, and it was just like at the end I was like, done, cannot care anymore about this thing, the project of projects, that is. And it was needed. What happened in that was needed. Solution raising is powerful. I'm like, I'm not holding another solution raising. I'm not coming up with a powerfully adjacent possible solution to climate change and slavery. Well, you all aren't going to do anything about it, right? So unless I have an influencer who's going to bring an audience and we together can co-create one, and then the audience could potentially fund it as well as vote if they wanted it, right? Because that's the point. The point is to come up with something that the people who create it actually want. Not that you're going to force other people to use, a voluntary improvement in your own life, right? And again, we've come up with powerful improvements to every area we have tackled, every complex issue. I can't tell a story. The stories go in 14 different directions. So I have a guest in mind for my first podcast. I mentioned that guest to one of my friends when we were away for the weekend. And she didn't tell me right then, but she told me on the ferry ride home that she knows him or knows people who knows him. And when I have the podcast up and ready to go, when I have the other people creating it, very possible. Not only was that all like, I was listening to a podcast with two other people who are it was Russell Brand and the Diary of the CEO. And in that, they mentioned my first guest. It's like, all right, that's not right after the February 19th came out of Tim Ballard's mouth, right after all the signs and symbols with Russell Brand that happened that we're not getting into. Russell Brand and who I was calling Aubrey, that I don't know why I thought that man was. This is what happens when people have a brand, Diary of a CEO, and not their name, right? Steven's his name. It's not. Anyway, what was my point? No way to say now. I don't know. Who knows? Together Tech ended January 7th. That's the same day that the 2023 stuff that Jane made a video standing up for Ashley Miller. We're not getting into the 2023 drama stuff. That will be Lucky Girls versus Mean Girls for that video, which will be the last one out of the three. Together Tech ended. It was the one I held on to. Solution raising will be a podcast with influencers once it's able to be a podcast, once people are able to, when I just have to show up and can be a tree at the center of this bend, right? Once I have somebody who's willing to contact and set up with the other people, the universe will provide. I need someone who understands what I can't do and can do the matching to that, right? Which is it's not how you be an entrepreneur. It's not how you have a project. It's not normally how things are done. You have to be everything for your project, everything, until you have enough resources to outsource. Outsourcing is already too many resources. Just explaining what I need, figuring out what I need is already too much. I need people who can see the I don't know in it and can see the what is being done and what isn't being done and can find their piece in it. I'm no longer willing is the wrong wording, but no longer willing to work on a new project of somebody else's or a new project that isn't what is coming through me, because I know what is coming through me is powerful. So it doesn't mean we're never going to co-create something new. I don't want to continually burn things down to the ground and be like, we're starting fresh. But even then you're not, because there is no fresh to start. There is something powerful that has been coming through me for years. And 2023 has made it even weirder. So before I just knew how to save the world, right? It was a technological cooperative. It actually, it's just that other people couldn't see the big, powerful vision. I can give the elevator pitch. A technological user cooperative, global. We all own it together. That's it. That's what I was trying to create. How everything was chicken and egg. Everything is like, I need the food one. I need the science one. I need the political one. I need all the things so that people can function, because people aren't functioning and I'm not functioning. So I could do the meta, but I can't do the mundane. And that's what I was going to do and never got around to, eh? That reminds me. Okay. I'm on another screen now. In Abrahamic religions, a messiah is a savior or liberator of a group of people. I think that fits for me. My name is Jubilee, and I know how to set humanity free, but I'm allergic to stress. I don't know how else to explain that. Cannot handle stress. But it's also because there's some stress I can handle. When in flow, I like feed off of trolls. That's stress. I don't know why it's this one and not this one. And part of my issue, let's get into all of it. Part of my issue with our medical system, part of who I am is I do not trust experts. Not because I just don't want to trust experts, because I've been shown and proven time and time, every single time I go to a doctor for me or my child, they do something horrific. Horrific. Enough that anyone listening is like, what did that? Like, what are you talking about? Not something malpractice, not something I'm going to report them and have them not be a doctor, but something bad enough. What the F were they thinking each and every time? The clergy, when I was a kid, right? They were the experts, your parents. Seeing the Titan, okay? The people who go down in submarines pay millions of dollars to go down in submarines without, like, they think that physics doesn't apply to them because they have money. Those are the people in charge of our economy. Those are the people in charge of our politics. They're in charge of it all. They take high risk for their own selfish rewards. And I don't, there's a Dunning-Kruger graph, right? It's like, to bring it up, but it's you parked on top of Mount Stupid at the beginning of the Dunning-Kruger graph, look it up yourself. That is where all of our world leaders are. Every CEO of every company. Now, they might not actually be parked on top of Mount Stupid. They might be an expert in whatever field they're in. But the actual experts who have to slide down out of confidence, at least internally, and our world does not allow people to not project confidence and have people follow them. So they have to pretend they're confident, pretend they know what they're doing, instead of like, right, here's the risk, here's the reward, here, like, we have incentivized confidence to a pathological degree where nobody can say, right, no one knows this stuff, nothing's certain because everything's complex. I want to go with the certain one. Okay, you get Colleen Ballinger to run the world. You get Elon Musk. You get the narcissistic asshats who have way more estimation in their skill and how much people like them and how great they are than the actual thing, right? And so there are experts in each and every field. Distinguishing them from the non-experts and the overconfident, low confidence is why there's no experts. So that's the worldview I have. If it doesn't work, right? Because it doesn't work. It is exhausting to live in a world with no experts. The world hasn't gotten, the last 3 years haven't proven to me people in charge know more what they're doing. It just keeps proving it in the opposite direction where more people are waking up. The Titan submarine is how people run businesses. That entire industry, I can't. This is our entire world. The world is broken, and it's exactly as it's meant to be. We have done horrible, horrific stuff as humans, and we're exactly where we're meant to be to create the better, beautiful world. I know how. It's coming through me. We are going to go back to reading the intro. Okay. It's coming, yet complex and coming through me. Yep. Are we there? Free, but I am allergic to stress. That's what I was going to say. Doctors, every single condition. I don't know one that isn't made worse by stress, right? Name a condition. Stress is just the constant in our world. But when I would explain, I have all these conditions, the intersection of them is where I live. That's not the center of that Venn, right? The intersection of the accessibility needs, what I am, is the center of that Venn. But the intersection means even if I can function with no stress, once any stress happens, the intersectionality of all my disabilities means that I can't function. That's the allergic to stress. And no doctor seems to be able to understand that. They're like, we don't have a stress specialist to send you to. No fucking kidding. That's why you're all useless. But they can't. They're like, no, everyone has to just be able to deal with stress. It's like they didn't learn that there's things you don't know in med school, right? That like the human body, the world is a giant mystery. And I had to learn that from getting brain tumors. Of like, what do you mean? Not only do you not know how I got them, you don't care? That's not what your job isn't to figure out why our bodies do things or how to not get them to do things or how to get them to do things just to make money. Just to, like, it's not even a eureka moment. It's not even a scientist. Anyway, I got my own stuff to work through, but I don't trust expertise. This is a weird world to live in when you don't trust expertise. But they're like, the two analogies got combined. And so there's like the David versus Goliath of like, you know, little person like with slingshot versus this giant. They have no hope of, and of course David wins against Goliath. Meanwhile, there's the emperor with no clothes where the kid's like, is naked. So it's like, there's a giant, naked, invisible person with their dick just swinging in everyone's face and no one else can see it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. But also, you can't tell people. It's like, you don't know who just hit you right across the face. That's awkward. Anyway, back to the thing. I had to save the entire world to feel worthy. Then I had to go find inner worth to be able to do any of it at all. Knowing what the world does not and does not want to know is lonely. I isolated myself and our personal world became quiet. In that quiet, 2023 has shown me the deep, intimate connection between us as individuals. I have the proof for anyone ready to see. Evangelical for authenticity and connection, while struggling with all of those areas. Well, I don't struggle with authenticity, but I do struggle with connection. I struggle with all 4 areas: health, relationship, time, and resources. I can do the meta, not the mundane, as we're about to see. That's what evangelical for authenticity and connection, while struggling with all the areas of life. I can do the meta, but I can't do the mundane. I can do what no other individual seems to be able to do. I can Jubilee. I cannot seem to do what most other humans can do: executive function to any capacity, or like network, contact people. I need people to contact me. No, you know, like if it's reliant on me to contact you, it's not happening ever. It's like, let me know when you want to get together. It's always going to have to be on the other person, always, except for the odd time, and even then, right, when I'm in flow. Anyway, and quite frankly, not even just getting together. I need someone to come physically pick me up. Right? I'm a tree. How would you bring a tree out? Like that. I live in my bed and I do what is mine to do. Setting all of humanity free is mine to do. I need a village for my day-to-day life, an intergenerational family committed to helping Jubilee, the person, Jubilee, the verb. I am going to attempt to not repel an audience while not cultivating one either. So I'm going to try not to be a giant bitch, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Mean girls are sad girls and a little bit of a giant bitch. So it's like, yeah, that'll be that bitchy energy on that channel. I'm still me though, right? I'm still am an Enneagram type 1. I have judgment and I learn from that judgment. If what people require is me not to have judgment, we're not going to get along, right? However, you're judging my judgment. So welcome to hypocrisy. You can't judge people without it reflecting on you. I know that. I'm meta judging. But other people aren't there yet. So I may never get there, right? So, but it doesn't mean I need to be a bitch. So we're working through. We're what I mean by repelling, right? I can feel the energy and like, get away, people. And it's like, okay, we can't be repelling, and we don't need to be purposely drawing people in either. Just be who I am, and the right people will come, without needing to micromanage one of the things that happened at the end of January, and I felt like I could communicate much better, even if it didn't look that way, was because this context demon left my body. It was like I didn't have to give context. I had to write down a note and had to tether myself to a subject. Like, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, that. But I didn't feel the need to give the 20 layers of context. It was like faith that the right thing would come in at the right time. I'm going to attempt to not repel an audience while not cultivating one. I do not comment typed. I make long form videos. I talk in word salad. I am a genius. And I am ridiculously wrong often. In just the right way, it turns out. Ask questions in comments or videos on YouTube, and I will likely answer. My brain likes questions. If they're actual questions on Mean Girls or Sad Girls, the questions Allie's followers ask are like, what? Where's all the evidence for all those kittens you murdered? When did I murder kittens? When did that rumor come from? I'm going to go live on this. Wait, did I miss one? I did. I scrolled down to read the rest. I'm exactly as I'm meant to be. So are you. Sorry, I'm exactly as I am meant to be. So are you. And exactly where I am meant to be. I struggle with all 4 areas: health, relationship, time, energy, really, and resources. I am meant to have people, but I can't seem to allow it, except all the places I clearly have. Like there's this like, I feel alone in all of this because there aren't people who've joined me on my project, even though, again, I'm deeply intimately connected to the people who I can see are helping or doing things. It's like, I need people to take on their part that matches my part, which is the I don't know, which is the like, if you need there to be a clear path, it's not going to work. It's going to be chaotic, right? But solution raising, peer coaching, we weave are it. It's how we get to the better, beautiful world. Like, tomorrow can happen quite easily. Also, Titanic and all those things, which we are going to watch. That might be a little bitchy because I'm me. I'm going to go live on this channel and I'm going to do it publicly. Only publicly. Did I just say that? That's the plan right now. Only publicly on this channel, but I do not work on a schedule. So I will have a broadcast ready to go, but it probably won't be like whatever time it says. It might be earlier, it might be later. Just click the notification button and then I believe it'll let you know if I go live, right? It's the way it's going to have to be because it's what I can do. Click notification on increased chances of me catching me live. Likely early Pacific Standard Time. I wake up early and I go live early and then my brain goes off for the day. All right. Speaking of which, I will be back tomorrow with watching. I was like, Mean Girls are sad. No, we're not watching that. We're not watching Lucky Girls versus Mean Girls. We're watching Titanic, 9/11, and the Olympics. And how interconnected they all are. And that video doesn't even showcase it. More just keeps happening daily. I'm like experiencing my own. I need someone to come help me create a religion or something. Because like this is, other people need to see the science because they're so weird. So weird.